Hello, I'm George Anderson from runningbygeorge.com and welcome to another episode of Ron Hill's Run Every Day. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the cornerstone of many a good quality training program, the long run. And it's for many runners, this is the training program. This is the especially for marathons and half marathons, this is what you put your stock into. And often the other training sessions are neglected along the way, as long as you've got your long run building up. Well, today I want to share with you three things. First of all, we're going to go back to basics and very briefly look at the benefits and the purpose of the long run, what we're trying to achieve by going out there and going long. I'm also going to talk to you about why we should slow down during the long run, the importance of doing that so as to not have an impact on other training sessions. And finally, I'm going to talk to you about how to stay motivated for the long run, because it's one of the challenges of running is that when you get into a training program, you start losing a little bit of motivation. You start dreading going out for an hour or 2 hours or even longer, and that's not the way we want things to be. So first of all, what is the point of the long run? Why do we do it? Well, if you think back to what got you into running in the first place, it was probably nothing to do with training for a race, or maybe it was training for a race, but the first kind of running you started to do was probably just going out there and putting one foot in front of the other and learning to enjoy the experience. And that learning to enjoy the experience takes longer for some people than it does for others, but I believe that everyone gets there eventually. So when we look at the long run, part of the long run is to go back and reconnect with running. We can get very caught up in times and stats and your minutes per mile and threshold running and intervals and hills and all those other good things. They're all important, but we can start losing sight of the real reason to run, which is for pure self-indulgence and enjoyment. And that's a really, really important thing. It keeps us fit, it gives us something to aim for, keeps us motivated, sure, but really we want to be able to enjoy that process, and the long run is a great opportunity to do that, as I'll come on to in a second when I talk about slowing the hell down. And physiologically, what we're trying to achieve with a long run is to build aerobic endurance. So what we're trying to do is to improve our body's ability to take in oxygen, transport it through the blood, and use it at a muscular level. So we're working aerobically, and that's one of the key things. We need to do this for a prolonged period of time for it to have an effect. Unlike interval training or threshold running, which is more intense, and you can get away with doing that for shorter periods of time and still have an effect. The long run, the aerobic stuff, needs to be done for a longer period of time, a higher volume, in order to have the effects. So, and it's a great thing to do, because it's the moment you get better at working aerobically, it means that everything else becomes that much easier as well. You become a more efficient running machine. So secondly, we should slow down when we do our long runs. The biggest mistake I see runners make, especially in marathon and half marathon, is trying to do the long run at race pace, which probably in marathon doesn't feel very quick to go at race pace, but it's still too fast for most people, too fast to get those real true aerobic benefits. If you think about the gains we're trying to elicit with the long run, we're trying to stay aerobic. If you start going too quick, then what happens is your body starts going into using different energy systems as well. So you're always going to use there are three energy systems and you'll use all three, but we want to be primarily working aerobically, so keep the pace down. Definitely slower than a half marathon pace, probably a little bit slower than your marathon pace as well, if that's what you're training for. Or another way of thinking about it is a conversational pace. You should be able to have a conversation whilst you're running along. And if you're not running with a running buddy, then you should be able to just chat to yourself. Surely I can't be the only person who does that. As you run along, I think, wasn't it a lovely day? And there's no one else around you. Just start. Maybe that is just me. But that's the second thing. So you want to be slowing your runs down so you can enjoy it more. You can reconnect. It helps you to reconnect with running, and it's going to give you better physiological gains to the aerobic system as well. So the third thing is how to stay motivated for your long run. Because when you're in the middle of it, at the beginning of a training program, you probably feel quite motivated, and it's easy to see, I'm going to do this, 16 weeks, I'm going to be great, get myself to the half or the full marathon. And then as you get into the program, you start to lose a little bit of that motivation. All of a sudden, you've got to go out for 2 hours on Sunday, and you start dreading it. And we don't want that at all. We really don't, because we want to continue to enjoy the process as well as the spoils of war. When we get to the race, we get our medal around our neck at the end of the run. So the way to stay motivated, or one of the ways to stay motivated, is to think about each of the runs you do as a journey. Think of it as an adventure where you're going somewhere, even if it's a loop. I really like the A to B runs where you get dropped off somewhere, then run back, or you start somewhere and you run out, then get picked up and come back. They're really good, great for motivation because you're going on a real adventure there. You're going from A to B. But even if you're doing a run and it's a loop, try to do a different loop each time, so that you're probably only going to have maybe 10 to 12 long runs, and you can probably do maybe, if you had 6 different loops, so you're doing each loop twice over the course of those 12 training sessions. That's going to keep your interest up. So you've got something to look forward to. They're going to get longer. So you could actually, if you really thought about it, probably come up with a different training run, a route for every single session you have to do for whatever program it is that you're on. Now, if you're not on a program, you just want to be going out and doing long runs, then get out into the trails, try different terrains, get off road, go around the parks, drive somewhere, and then go running, rather than going from your own front door every time. Whatever you do, change your environment, because that is going to have a huge impact on how much you enjoy the run, because you've got other things to concentrate on there, other stimulation that's going to be coming in from the environment that's going to really, really elevate your enjoyment and how much you look forward to going on that run. Most of us, we might say, I don't feel very motivated to go on that run, but actually when we get into it, we quite enjoy it. But we want to feel like we're looking forward to it as well. So we can get both of those if we just play around with changing the route that we go on. So that's my little video about the long run. It is important. It's not the entire training program. Don't neglect the other training sessions in your schedule as well. If you want to share this video, please do share it with your friends. And if you want to check out how everyone else is getting on with a run every day, or if you want to join the campaign, if you haven't already joined, then click the link below and you'll find all the information over there. I'm George Anderson. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.